Good morning, all. I hope if you can sit, we can start the session. Can you please take your seats? So thanks to be here in this Saturday, even it's a weekend and holiday for you all, but still you are here for attending this session. Thanks for that. I'm so excited to meet all of you. I'm Ambily. I'm basically a developer from GitHub. So the word developer, it means a lot. You may be thinking, I met some of you, there is a data governance specialist, and there is a Kubernetes engineer. So you have your own roles and designations. But at the end, you all are developing the future. That future is developed by the developers. So I like to call myself as a developer. So in heart, I am a developer. So today, I'm going to delve into the impact of generative AI, the new paradigm game in the tech world, in our life as a developer, how the generative AI is impacting all of your day-to-day activities. That is what we are doing today. And obviously, when we talk about developers, we need to look back how your journey is altogether. Can you please dim this one? Yeah, thank you. So we need to look into our journey, where we started. Or some of you maybe started long back. Some may be yet to start your journey into the software development area. So I'm starting with one of this image. Anyone is able to recall this image? It have a highest impact on our development journey. As a developer, we did something predominantly that time. So recall this image. Who is that? No one? Yes, it's a moon landing one. Apollo code, it's developed by Margaret Hamilton. So she is standing next to the code she developed. So that's a code actually developed by her. So think about a scenario tomorrow when you reach your office, your manager asking you to close the laptop, start writing the code in a notebook. Anyone can do that? Even for syntax, we may not aware of the syntax, which library to import, namespaces to use, no idea. Everything is fed to us. So, but our earlier or our generations or the people before us, the developer journey started with a long back writing the code in a book format. She completed this one for the moon landing code. So then we started our journey into the 1990s or 90s time. We normally dependence on our IDEs, the integrated development environments are just like Notepad. No support. Maximum it can give the compilation or running of the application. That's the maximum capability of an IDE in 90s. So we refer the book next to us or ask the friend, what's the syntax, which library I missed to import, there is a compilation error. So that's the 90s stories. Then the year 2000, we got the great IDEs, the integrated development environment. It's kind of a magic band for the developers. It gives you all the syntax support. It ensures that which library is missed. You can focus more on your intellectual properties or your IP development, innovation angles, instead of concentrating or mugging up the syntax. That's a great starting for the developers. In 20s, even we started to learn about ML, AI, everything. We even implemented the ML models as part of our products. But as a developer, it's just a target technology, not for us. So before getting into generative AI, let us see how a developer's day will look like. Coding is easy. As a developer, it's our core work. But that is not the only work developers are doing. You need to deal with multiple things, especially when it comes to a critical projects. NFRs, non-functional requirements, plenty of them. You need to deal with security, performance, and on top of that, now we talk about full developers who deals with multiple technologies. So the security implementation on one technology will differ from the other. So as a developer, we are dealing with many aspects. Again, writing that unit test cases with a code coverage of 80%, 90% is nightmare. When we talk security, anyone worked on product development? Great, we have some people. So around 4 years or 5 years before, when we do the product development, we do the MVP developments, the first minimum viable product. The MVPs will be completed by 4 months' time. Normally, we take. Then as a developer, we hand over our child, the MVP, into an allied team called security people. For them, it's someone else's child, not their child. So they take their own sweet time and come back with something special. And Excel with 500 lines of issues. Okay? For us, as a developer, it's like doctor's prescription. We can't understand any of that thing. That's the journey around 4 years or 5 years before when you do a product development. And at the end, we spend our day and night, maybe 1 or 2 months effort, understanding these 500 lines of errors, came up with 2 errors that is part of our product. 498 is false positive. It's identified wrongly. Again, after fixing these 2 errors, we go back to the security team. Again, the same cycle repeat. That was the story. But now, at least from last year onwards, everything is getting changed. So we are in a new journey of development, or new phase of development. We are adopting the generative AI as a pair programmer who is next to you with the millions of developers' expertise, not to replace you. Obviously, you are the driver, you are the pilot who is going to drive the development, take the decisions, ensure that your product is complete. But you have a companion associated with you everywhere. It can be in your main screen or in your test generation, in your documentation, all that's mundane work, the redundant works we do, that can hand over to AI. So let me get into the next one. That's today's topic. I will be talking about generative AI impact on software development. So if you look at generative AI, obviously n number of models. So from a developer angle or anyone coming from AI world may know models means the underlying framework which supports your activities. I just picked 3 of them. Large language models are the one, our focus area. But that is not the only one. You have GANs. GANs is mainly used for places where you don't have much of the real data availability. You are planning to develop some great ML model. Obviously, you need corpus of data or bunch of data for training that model. If you are lacking some kind of real-time data, you can use GAN models. It generates the data for training your models. BI is another one, sentiment analysis kind of stuff. And our focus is on large language models, especially GPT. The generative pre-trained transformers, that's the area most of the products out there which comes as a pair programmer or supporting system for developer is based on GPT. And BOT was there long back. It is mainly for sentiment analysis kind of thing. And T5 is also used for translation kind of work. But GPT is the main topic today. And GitHub Copilot. So GitHub Copilot is the first product launched supporting the developer ecosystem, dealing with the productivity improvements. We call it as a pair programmer. Anyone worked on a pair programming concept? Yeah, few of them. So you may recall pair programming is Little expensive, but at the same time brings lot of benefit to the system. Two people sit together and develop a product or a complete feature or task. That's the concept pair programming. Instead of keeping another person, we are keeping AI tool. So GitHub Copilot coming from there. It's an AI tool, started the release the starting from 2020 onwards, we have the Copilot there, but the last GA is available on 2022. That's a release date. And Copilot is mainly targeted for code area, mainly on the developer perspective, how to support you into different activities, including the development of the application or test generation, documentation, explicit things. But right now, Copilot is taking a next step. It's bringing the entire AI layer into the DevOps ecosystem, end-to-end DevOps, starting with your task or requirements till the deployment. Copilot is there to support you. So let us see from Kubernetes angle how the Copilot is going to support a Kubernetes developer, person who is dealing with Kubernetes. But it's common, any language, as long as you are touching a code, even if it is a markup or a shell command, anything, Copilot is there to support you. So from a Kubernetes angle, we just divided into multiple areas of Kubernetes. So starting from provisioning and cluster setup, that may be the first one most of you are doing. So anyone is working on terminals or the CLIs, command line interface. People love CLIs, even though GUI is there. Most of the I see in most of the especially Kubernetes kind of developers, they love the CLI. Either they work on Cloud Shell or the terminal, any of the CLIs. So if you take any ecosystem like developer specific one, IntelliSense, that's available for an ID, not a CLI level. Any support offered is till the ID level, not into the CLI. So Copilot is taking next step. It is available in CLI also. So the first demo will be on CLI, how Copilot is helping you to get Kubernetes-related commands in CLI. Obviously, you can ask Copilot for other commands as well. I just capture a glimpse of CLI with Kubernetes, and the demo will continue with a VS Code is the main GUI I am using or IDE I am using. So in VS Code, how you can prompt Copilot and get the similar kind of approach. So we'll start with the demo. Demo will be little faster. I just made it as 2-3 times faster to accommodate the time. In case you miss anything, any questions, we'll discuss it. So starting with CLI, we have a command called GH Copilot. So GH Copilot will give you few areas. You can ask for suggestions. You can give a lengthy command you found in the internet. You don't know what exactly it's meant. So Copilot can be able to explain what exactly the command, why these parameters are required. And also, it's able to revise the things. You given a ask for a command. I hope I will stop for a minute. Sorry. So you can revise your commands as well. In the first pass, you may be giving very vague details. You may not give all the details. And the second prompt, we call it as prompt, you can revise the command. You can ask the Copilot, revise the above command with the specific parameters. I would like to add these parameters as part of my command. So that is how you are going to, the revision is happened right now here. And then it's going for the next aspect, that's a Copilot in your ID. So I hope this one is completed, or yeah. Yeah, it's a set of commands also. If you want a bulk of commands, it's able to generate not only single command. Based on your prompt, it can be one or multiple command generation. And coming to the ID, there are multiple supported IDs are there. I'm using VS Code here. You have a chat interface here. Give your prompt. If you want command like prompt, start with terminal. Terminal indicate I am going to work in the CLI or terminal. Give me the terminal commands, not a Terraform or Ansible or anything else. So you can ask the similar question to Copilot and append it into a Terraform or PowerShell kind of thing. So here also you can revise, regenerate the above command by considering specific parameter values. The first time when the commands are generated, some placeholders are there. If you want to fill that one, pass it again. Copilot will be replacing that with the specific parameters. And in your case, whenever you want to deploy an application, obviously a configuration file requirement is there. Not related to Kubernetes, but configuration file is important. You can take the help of Copilot to generate that file as well. And how much information you feed, that much accurate will be your configuration file. If you feed the name, the Linux node or which node required, how many nodes are required, load balancing requirements, all these information is a prompt, it will create accordingly. So workspace is another aspect. So here I am going to generate exactly the same command in a Terraform world. Just appended in front saying workspace, new Terraform app, same prompt. Create a Terraform app using XYZ activities. So Copilot is able to generate the similar kind of thing, the structure, file structure, and entire aspects. So we moved from Terraform to Bicep. Anyone working on Bicep? Anyone coming from Microsoft world may know, Bicep is the new addition of ARM. Earlier it's ARM, the cloud provisioning tools. So Bicep is used here. Any model you need, you just inform the Copilot, take the help, and generate the code. And at the same time, it's a system. You as a developer should review the code, ensure that it's meeting your requirement, then only commit the code. It's your responsibility. You are committing. You are pushing the change. You are doing the PR. So anything goes wrong, you are in charge. So take it as a helper, a person next to you who is going to guide you, but at the same time, own the things. You are going to drive the, or you are the one decision maker who is at the end ensuring that code quality is met. Copilot can also help you code quality angle. You can ask Copilot to review the code based on my standards. Define your standard in a YAML or JSON file and ask Copilot to review it. It can review that way, but the initial code may or may not generate it based on that. It all depends on the context and the prompt you are providing. So moving to the next one, configuration management. I'm going to touch 3 areas. The next one is configuration management. Just like what we've seen, you can generate the configuration file using, obviously, the Copilot. And apart from that, we use some of the technologies for configuration management, HAM or different things. So I am asking Copilot itself how to manage or what are the different ways to manage my configurations of Kubernetes. And it's provided a set of things. And now customize is used for this particular example. So you can define which configuration management tool you are going to use. Based on that, the Copilot will be able to generate it. The next one is HAM-based template. It will provide the exact same structure. If you give more details on your application and the configuration requirements, it's able to generate that as well. So configuration management angle, or in future, if you want to incorporate the testing aspect or the different aspect of your Kubernetes area, the Copilot is ready to support you. The next one is the CI/CD. Obviously, you may be linking to some of the CI/CD system. Jenkins is the majority of the people use Jenkins. We at GitHub use Actions. Both are the same CI/CD platform. So let us see how Copilot is going to help in Jenkins-based hem. We have a hem template opened already. The next prompt is how we can install the official Jenkins hem system. And step-by-step instructions will be provided by Copilot. And obviously, once it's available, installation is done. You need the admin passport for unlocking the Jenkins system. Copilot will help you with the kubectl command to get that admin password, or sometimes Jenkins URL is required. So step by step you can ask. It's a conversation. You can refer the back. You can say, in previous question or previous recommendation, you mentioned this one, how to do that. So refer back. It's a conversation. You can revise. You can give more ideas to the Copilot itself. This actions workflow. Anyone is familiar with actions may know. In GitHub, we use actions or YAML-based workflow for CI/CD. So the XLE hem or any of the things, you can use actions workflow as well. The test automation or CI/CD implementation can be done with actions. Here also, obviously, Copilot is there to support. So the CI/CD is the last sample I am giving. And obviously, if you have generic questions related to software development, anything related to software development, you can ask Copilot. If you ask some movie writing or something, it will say, no, I am not supporting kind of thing. But anything related to software development, testing aspect, or the implementation of NFS, or any of the aspects, you have Copilot as a companion. At the same time, it's have a language support. So language support is there as part of the response as well as prompt. So this I just quickly created. I used Google Translator for converting my prompt to Malayalam. Even though I am Malayali, it's very difficult to write it. So you give the prompt in your own language. Copilot is ready to help you with your own language. Especially, it's very useful for Chinese customers. Whenever we take session for them, Mandarin is the language we take the sessions. So normally we demonstrate using that Mandarin. I just tried whether it supports our Malayalam also. It's able to support the entire system. So the natural language is integrated. Any technical questions, if you want to ask in your language, Copilot is there to support you. So that's all from my end. Open for a question answer. If you have any questions related to Gen AI or Copilot, open for that. Yeah, please.
Thank you for the talk. It was really nice. I'm trying to compare this to something like ChatGPT, and my biggest problem with ChatGPT these days is that it's really hard to give the context of my own application to ChatGPT via text and prompt. So can this read the files of my application and have that as context already? Let's say I have an application and I need the Helm charts to deploy it. So do I need to tell it about the application also, or can it just go through my code, existing code, and create those Helm charts by reading them?
Thank you. Your name?
Arsh.
Ash. Thank you, Ash. Actually, Ash has defined the difference between ChatGPT and Copilot. It's one of the main difference. Copilot works in your IDE, VS Code, IntelliJ, or Vim, Android Studio, wherever. It's in the IDE. You can pass the complete context. At the same time, obviously, enterprise customers may have some proprietary files. You have a file with your secrets, tokens, or XYZ things. You don't want Copilot to touch upon that. You can specify that. Don't crawl through or don't use any context from this folder or this file. And Copilot takes all other files as the context. @workspace will give you the complete workspace as an input to the context or input to Copilot and capture the context. it scrolls through the entire thing. Earlier, when it's released, it's only open files. But right now, as I mentioned earlier also, if you want to code review your code is in one file. Coding standards you define in a different file. You can specify my code review against the coding standard in XYZ file. So it's review according to that. So the entire context is there. That is one of the difference between ChatGPT and obviously Copilot. Any other questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.